pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first thing on our agenda is Debbie Gillette, zoning officer.
Before us tonight, we have three groups for some consideration regarding zoning. The first, I'm going to ask Joe Blaskowitz and Alan Koska from the Wayne County Housing Authority. They did file for a zoning permit to build additional housing units up on their property. The property is located in an RR and an R zoning district, and multifamily housing is not a conditional use, a special exception, nor a permitted use, even though their current properties are already being used as that. So it would need a variance. So I'm going to let Joe and Ellen speak a little bit.
First of all, thanks for having us tonight. We have a 2.6 acre parcel where our office is, and our plans are to build veteran housing. It's much needed. They're underserved. We reached out to the VA clinic at the Wayne Memorial. They serve, there's about 3,000 to 4,000 veterans in Wayne and Pike County, which the housing authority serves. HUD has a program that's called a Bosch voucher. And we're going to work with a developer. We have support from HUD to do it, to get these vouchers. And just need support from the borough. So,
Excuse me a minute, are we taking this? Or do we have a secretary?
You know what, we don't have a secretary taking minutes.
Somebody's got to take the minutes or something.
Yeah, was it, yeah.
But at least if we could take the minutes.
Yeah. Do we have our own? Yeah.
We used one each time, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if that was ours.
I have to start again.
No, sorry,
Yeah.
It's fine. Not a sweat, all right.
Unfortunately, we had a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
Sorry about that. Thank you again. Thank you, appreciate that.
We needed a secretary. And we get one in.
Thank you. Don't leave.
Can you just say what you said in about 2 sentences?
Sure. Thank you for having us. We're from the Wayne County Housing Authority. We own a 2.6 acre tract, which where our office sits. Our plans are to do veteran housing on that tract of land. We have the support from HUD. They're called Bosch vouchers. Veterans Assisted Supportive Housing. Plans are between 30 and 40 units, 1 to 2 bedrooms. And we're excited. We're Wayne Memorial is supportive of it. We reached back to them last fall. There's between 3,000 and 4,000 veterans in Wayne and Pike County. So we feel with hospital, we started talking about the hospital, us, and you have the VA clinic and the VA hospital in Wilkes-Barre. It's a great project, and we would like support for that.
Anybody have any questions?
Question one is this going to be 1 story, 2 story, or what?
Don't know yet. We're
That's quite a few units, 30 to 40.
yeah. That would be once we get the zoning change, we can figure out how many we can put there. We don't want to pack. We want to make it a beautiful project. There are some that are 1, 2 stories. There's one in Hawley that's proposed. It's a 24 unit. We like the looks of that. There's one in Holmesdale, 36 unit. We like the looks of that, but I don't know what would fit up there. So I like something,
Land development.
I guess to answer your question, something a little different than what we have at present.
How many units do you have right now?
30 units. We have 12 three bedrooms. 12, yeah, so
That would be a stipulation that has to be for veterans only.
It would be for them.
yes. Veterans only. Yep.
You still use the same entrance?
So, yes, with the intent, good question. The intention when we put our office there, the utilities are at the end of the driveway. So they would come up through our main office and go in that way.
Oh, okay.
And how much of the what did you say?
2.6 acres,
How much of it is already utilized? Or is
not
that,
much, right, for our offices. We have that whole field in the back.
well, that's right next to the Bradley Railroad. Fine, and 14.
Yeah.
So that's a good place for a neighbor.
I don't have a problem with what you want to do for the veterans up there. I think it's a great idea, and it's good to see that you're involved in it to make something like this happen. You must have put a lot of time into this.
It is.
We hope to.
Yeah, we want to, yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We want to see it to the end.
So what are you looking for from us?
You need a variance.
A variance.
So that's going to have to go through your zoning hearing board,
Okay.
which you'll have to convene within the next 30 days to set up a hearing in order. Because we do have their formal permit application.
Okay.
Do we know who's on our zoning?
Well, you know what? We don't, and we talked about that the last few months. And we got to see if anybody that is on our zoning board is available yet they want to stay on. But we need to find 3 people, and we need a secretary, Debbie told us. So we can set a secretary rather, and we need 3 people to serve on the zoning.
We do have a zoning board.
Yes.
You just need a separate secretary.
We just need to call them to see if they still want to be on the zoning board, because they haven't been convened in probably 10 years.
They have to appoint their own solicitor. You guys can
Right.
appoint. I spoke with Rich Henry, who's very borough and township work. He's willing to do it. He's ever on the zoning hearing board if we'd like to come. I already spoke to him about the issue.
Well, I'll call Jimmy Salick then, because he was on the zoning board before, to see if he's still interested in staying. And then maybe he knows the other 2 guys. I don't.
Bob Nell,
Bob Nell, K-N-E-L-L.
N-E-L-L, and the Waters guy, young Waters, George
Young
Jr.
George, young George.
George Jr.
Thank you.
So when do you plan on moving forward with this summer?
Well, after we get the variance,
Yes.
then we would have to do a needs assessment study. So that's still going to take probably a few months after that, and then we need to submit an application to the office in Philadelphia.
Then they'll need site and land development plans.
Tax credits are opening up in the first part of the year, so hopefully by next year, this time, I guess, we're
It'll take a while. After all this.
Nothing, anything government takes a while.
hopefully we've got some residents here.
Well, I was there when they cut the ribbon the first time, but
1981.
then,
Then you added 16 units in 95?
McDade,
When do we need to use that?
yeah, and he looked across the road, and he says, what's there? And I said, it's the water company. He says, oh, good, then nobody will be doing anything across the road there. And I said, no, they won't be doing anything. It was a neat time.
And do we have anyone here tonight from Bobcat of Wayne County? I know they dropped off on the plans to Jane this week. This is a proposed land development plan for the Bobcat of Wayne County, which will be going out on Route 6 on the vacant land across from Dollar General and Hayes Market. They're proposing to use the existing driveway where Commonwealth Health, the urologist office is. The But they've done their site development and land development plan, which will be preliminarily going to the county for review. And then the county has 30 days to review the land development plan. And then we'll start with a conditional use for them because they're in the same use category in the general commercial district as J&J Trailer and Auto, who's here tonight for their conditional use. So we just wanted to kind of show the plans for that, and what they have planned, and they were very specific about using the Route 6 driveway that's currently in place. They do have an easement agreement with the current owner of that piece of property to utilize their driveway.
And that's in between Hayes and Dollar General?
No, this is across the street,
Across the
the
street.
former, yes,
Okay.
yep. This was lots that were subdivided last year and approved by Borough. And all 3 lots.
Where the hydrants,
Make it
the water.
It's all of the current water sewer lines and the fire hydrants
It's
are
really, according here, you can't see it. It's right
over here.
Right
They're showing the existing number of parking spaces that we're proposing and everything, which is all in compliance with our land development. And with uniform. They're over here, just anybody.
The engineer that I met with yesterday said he just wanted, this is preliminary, it's not a final drawing, and he just wanted to give an idea of what they're contemplating to put out there. And if anybody after the meeting, I'll have it set back there. If you want to look at it, if you have any comments on it, they will be passed on to the owner.
Is that all you have for now, Jay, on that one?
For that.
Can I get the group that donated to bench, the Odd Fellows, to speak on behalf of the donation to the borough?
My name is Andrew Kilmer. I'm Noble Grand of Freedom Lodge, number 88, in Oakdale, Independent Order of Odd Fellows. Trucks come through with a plastic collection donation. If you collect, as a group, 500 pounds of plastic and deliver it, they will give you the bench. So this is our second bench. We are working on 3 and 4. Any soft plastic, it takes a while.
And that bench is sitting right outside in front of the Waymart Borough Council sign. If anybody wants to take a look at it, it's a pretty nice, real nice bench, as a matter of fact. And it's light. Thank you. It's strong. So appreciate that. Yeah. On behalf of Borough Council and everybody from Waymart, thank you very much for the donation. We really appreciate it.
What he didn't say was the Odd Fellows organization is very similar to the Masons. We help those that are less fortunate than us. We help with, we donate to food banks with clothing. We do scholarships. There's also 4 branches right now in the state of Pennsylvania, which is the Odd Fellows, the Rebecca, the Encampment, and the Canton. In Honesdale, we have right now the Odd Fellows and the Canton. Right now, the Rebecca's, which I'm a member of, meets in Lakewood, but in the fall, we will be moving to Honesdale. I'm a past president of the Rebecca Assembly of Pennsylvania. I did 3 years as president, and because of COVID, I had to stay in for an extra year. So it was, but Odd Fellows is a worthwhile organization. We do a lot of help with those that are needy. So if anybody is interested in joining, we do meet the
First and third Wednesdays.
I knew I'd mix that up because that's when the Rebecca's meet. We are on 9th. Is it 9th Street?
9th Street.
No, we do meet in the Masons building. So anybody?
Anybody else? Yeah.
Do you have any members from Waymart?
Yes, we do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're from Waymart.
Yes.
Well, I know years ago, Chuck, very senior was on.
Yes. he was.
So what is considered a soft plastic, and can citizens just bring donations to
Your
you?
grocery bags. the wrap that goes around like your bottled water,
Okay.
any kind of soft plastic, even like your Ziploc freezer bags,
Mm-hmm.
any soft plastic like that.
Okay. Saran wrap.
Bread rolls and.
What was that?
Saran wrap.
Yeah.
That's a good question. Do we want, can,
You
Would
can
we be
either
able to
drop
do-
it off, you can drop it off at Lindsay Equipment, come out back and ask for HA. Or you can drop it off at Sunrise Service.
Oh, Mike? Yeah.
Mike,
yes, Mike is a member of our lot.
Yeah.
Recycling day.
but it's
So there's an
your
opportunity.
grocery bags, water softener bags, pellet bags, bubble wrap, Ziplocs, bread bags,
No.
Any soft
any
plastic.
soft plastic.
Okay.
And it does take a lot to make 500 pounds.
Like the plastic dog food bags, that's not considered.
If they're plastic, we can sneak them through.
Well, some are paper, but some are plastic.
Yeah.
My dog uses plastic.
Yes.
I know.
I'll grab it in a minute.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Next up.
There's a Waymart. It's right there.
Oh, yeah, so I like.
He just put the bill list up there if we want to copy. Yeah.
Thanks.
Bye, Kathy.
I'm passing around a zoning report for our next guests, who are John and Jennifer Robleski of J&J Trailer and Auto. We did receive their zoning permit application May 10th, and their building plans, actually was the night of our borough council meeting in May. And it was determined that the use for the trailer and auto equipment sales would be a conditional use in the general commercial zoning district. They've gone through every hoop that we've thrown at them regarding land development, even though it was previously done a few years ago by the former owners. That land development plan was done by licensed surveyor Ed Harsh was here tonight, and it was taken to Wayne County Planning on the 30th of June. And I know Ed contacted them as well as I did today. The planning department has not had time to finalize the review for the land development itself on this issue. Through the holiday, they've had several people out ill, which all employers are battling right now again, and vacations. But they did assure me within the next week, 2 weeks at the most, that we would have that back. But they said there was no reason not to move forward with the actual conditional use itself. So I did compile my report regarding the conditional use and all the steps that have been taken. They have applied for their limited use highway occupancy permit. The curbing and everything is already there for the driveway done by the previous owners. So that's through PennDOT, and it's a low impact one, so they don't have to do all the highway studies and all those surveys and everything else. And that takes Division 4 of PennDOT, however long it does to come out and look at it. So. But other than that, we do already have these uses being used in the same general commercial district. And I noted in my notations at the bottom of my report, they've been in their current business, which is located across the street from the same exact location where they're building, operating the same. From information I found there was no conditional use put on that by the property owner. When they moved in, and Hawana's Auto Repair is also located in the same general district, just about a quarter of a mile down the road. And I could not find any records for a conditional use on that property either. So it fits within a commercial district for the vehicles and equipment sales and operations. This will be the same thing that Bobcat's gonna have to go through. Normal conditions, I believe Jay put some notations on the agenda, what might be some conditions that the council might want to put on a business such as this, such as downlighting, hours of operations, things like that, just to control noise issues, but it's up to you. Jane has reviewed everything for planning. We've had all this since May. We've been going back and forth. We do have their revised building plans, which are ready to go to the plan reviewer as soon as the land development is finalized by the county. The first step is the conditional use itself, to use the property for their equipment.
You're building a building on that property also?
Yeah, oh, yes.
And you're gonna have, well, sales in that within your shop also?
Yes.
Or-
Yes.
Okay.
Everything that's currently at 18 Maple Street is going to be moved over to 138.
136 Belmont.
Belmont.
Their driveway will be
Good for
accessed
you.
over
I'm
to
glad you guys are doing well.
Belmont.
We're very pleased with our trailer. I haven't backed it up yet, but it's good.
60 by 68, I believe it was.
So you're building anything else besides the building?
No, just the building.
How big is that building?
It's going to be 60 by 68.
60 by 60.
The actual architect building
Okay.
to go to the plan examiner.
I have additional copies of the land development plan if you'd like to see them as well.
We want copies there.
I do have a copy in the file.
We can put some of this stuff up in the wall.
And it's basically the same, almost identical land development plan showing the sewer, the current sewer, fire hydrants, water, existing lines, and all the adjacent property. And what the county is looking for when they look at land development is sedimentation, runoff, things like that, which they haven't had to do any improvements to the lot other than clear some overgrown weeds. So this was all done previous.
Okay, good.
So they're not doing any major earth moving, so to say. Anything else you need to add?
I have prepared a conditional use application that we can submit. There's a letter of intent. I don't know if you have that as well.
I do not have that.
Formalized letter of conditional use application.
And I will note there have been no complaints that have come through zoning and code enforcement for their current business or property. That there's been any issues with noise, lighting, anything like that.
So it's something that you can do tonight.
No. Got to be advertised until we get that hearing within 60 days.
Under the conditional use,
I got here. Yep, additional use.
Because I know we've talked about this for the last
We were talking
2
about-
months.
I know. I don't remember that either.
We got within 60 days of the applicant's request of the applicant. Is the application here, conditional use application, July 12, 2000. You got something different?
looking conditional use is shall be permitted only after review by the Waymart Borough Planning Council will approve by Waymart Borough.
It still has to be advertised. Got to be advertised. People have a right to know what's going on. That's the state law. Are you looking for action tonight? Then?
Just want to keep something moving along here.
Yes.
Yeah, they've been waiting since May. So I would make a suggestion then that as soon as we get the land development approval back from the county within the next 2 weeks of the plan.
Grant a conditional approval. Do that. favorable review.
Unfortunately, I'm dealing on the committee, but I positively think there's no problem whatsoever for conditional use under these circumstances. And I would recommend that we do this. We give them conditional use.
Attorney Farrell, so how do we have to do this? We have to advertise it for 2 consecutive weeks, or what's?
I have here must advertise conditional use here pursuant to public notice. Public hearing must be held within 60 days of the day of the application request. Tonight's the day of the request, right?
So you got 60 days from tonight, but you can do it quicker.
You can do
Well,
it,
yeah, we could,
Yeah, absolutely.
you can do it next week if I get in the paper.
So if we could get it in the paper and then get the county review, then we could have, can you have a special meeting to grant approval?
it would be a
You
special
want to do
meeting.
that?
Yeah, I think we could do that, yeah. Do we need our zoning board? in order?
No, that's
Yeah, we can.
not zoning board for this.
Okay.
This
We're-
is your
we're ready to go.
planning commission and your borough council.
I would like to make a recommendation that Debbie stay on until these two things are settled. She is one.
I know.
Yeah, stop anything in the middle of the street.
Come sit with Cash.
Yeah, you gotta bring the song.
Yeah.
Pizza party here next Tuesday.
If we could do it in the next 2 weeks.
That's what I thought. Can we pick a date now?
Yeah, well, Bobcat isn't, there's, that's all I do, guys.
Yeah, but you'll have to cut their teeth on this one, so.
Yeah, yeah, if we can, get it advertised in the local paper, and we talk about it publicly, and
Right.
it's been on the record video wise, but if we get this done in the next.
The calendar's over there. Could we do it a week from now?
Do we know how many days it has to be advertised prior, according to state law?
It's been so long since we've done this. I'm so thrilled to see all this development here, Waymart.
Jane, you want to pick a date out, or I'll pick one?
Well,
Let's see.
Mr. Harsh, I think.
Yeah, okay.
It's gonna be contingent on the advertising and then the review from the county. I mean, I don't know if we can pick a date.
If we do it 2 weeks from now, we should. have
Okay,
it.
how about 2 weeks from now?
That works for me. I mean, we submitted it, June 30th, so if they have their 90 days or 30
They have
days,
30 days,
they have to have it done, or
They won't have it done until August the 1st? then?
no, what,
they have to have it done by.
they have to have it done by July 21st.
You can't really schedule a hearing until at least the 29th.
It would be done in 2 weeks. They told me it would be done no later than 2 weeks.
And you have to remember, the county's only doing a recommendation to the borough.
Right,
That's true.
and then the borough has the final approval on that, and that can, I believe, if it's a special meeting. can all be done.
What's 2 weeks?
2 weeks is the 26th of July.
Oh, we can, that's the,
Oh, that's right, too. There's stuff going on.
we can't, that's already.
So does it have to be on the
The
Tuesday?
25th is a Monday, and the 27th is that Wednesday.
Monday or Wednesday?
Monday or Wednesday.
Fine by me, whichever works for you guys.
Right down the road, anytime is good.
Yeah, council, anybody? Which one?
Monday would be better?
The 25th? Right, 25th still good with you?
Yep.
Aaron? 24th is good? Danny?
Yep.
25th? Myself, 25th.
25th, go with you?
6 o'clock?
6
I think
o'clock
so.
is good. Well, you know, let's go 6:30. Because we have a couple of guys that are running late because of the move to 6. And we want to see if we can get back to 6:30 because they have children. If they can sit.
So that's what has to be advertised.
It's
July
6:30.
27th at 6:30, correct?
25th.
The 25th, sorry.
25th, that's okay. 25th at 6:30.
So if the public has objection, they can come out at that time, correct?
Right, yes. That's the notice. Everybody objects to the point. Object, so it's the only switch.
All right, we're good?
We already have all the documentation we need for it, so.
You good?
Thank you.
And I believe you did procure the sewer permit today as well?
I do.
Yeah.
I do not know.
Yeah.
523.
There you go.
Just as good as any other.
All the ducks are in line.
Their lumber is laying, ready to go, so it's
Okay.
a contractor.
Good, thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Enjoy the rest of your
Have a good night.
Hey, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
They are the best people to work with when you're buying something. They are awesome.
I know, they're really nice. We got a big trailer there.
Huh.
I said, Louis got a big trailer.
Yeah.
there. It really is nice.
The one Dean had is much too big. I'm not even going to attempt that.
I can see it jackknifed on Myrtle Street.
The thing is, if nobody's bothering, if nobody's watching, I'm okay.
Well, yeah.
But if you watch me, I'm done.
All on the way?
It would be up there, guys.
Okay, we're all done with everything there. Ready here? Okay, minutes of the previous meeting of June 14th.
It's very, there's a number of mistakes. Number one mistake is they had tonight's meeting date instead of June 14th, 2022. They also down at the bottom of the first page, we have Joe Gillette instead of Joe Gillette. On the second page, again, Joe Gillette instead of Joe Gillette. Also in the second paragraph, my name is spelled wrong. Down under the mayor's report, Carla is spelled wrong, it's Karla. On the next page, under correspondence, Spady, when we're talking about the animals, it's misspelled. It's Spain. And a couple other minor little things, but there's a number of, if all those things are fixed. All those things are fixed, we can accept the minutes, but if they, the question is, can we do that? You know? Because we don't have a,
6 o'clock's a little difficult for me.
Yeah, we're going to talk about
we're
that.
going to talk about it because we feel the same way. So I guess that if we have the original minutes, so that we can do all these changes.
Right, so we have to find out if that was her report or what it was ours. And then the minutes we need from the June meeting. Redone by listening to the tape. That's what you want, right?
Well, all the corrections, yes.
We could have done that for a long time ago, but I understand where you're coming from.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes with the corrections.
But I'll second that. That's right. All in favor? So we're going to redo those minutes. We're looking for a secretary, by the way. They have one or two interested, but that's where we're at right now. Okay, are we ready to move on, then, John? Bill list review, Shelley Gagowski, treasurer.
You have the list in front of you. No additions.
No addition. Need a motion to accept the treasurer's report? If everybody's done looking at it.
What is that bill for the White County Board?
That was, vehicle on the truck, repair on the truck one. And that is all that I have. Vehicle on the truck. Hopefully County Board, and then just had vehicle on the truck.
What does that mean?
Repair on the truck. That was all that I got, and when I called them.
That's pretty steep, $908.
And that was all they sent for the bill.
Well, we'll have to get with Leroy and double check on that, but that was it. And I think Earl mentioned something to me the other day. I was talking to him about, he had a problem with the truck. His girl was waiting to use it, and I finally got it taken care of about a week or so ago. So it might be that situation, whatever that was. Well, okay. We need a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
I'll make the motion.
We got a motion by Craig, Speedwalk, second by Shane Bell. All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? All in favor? Okay, now we're going to go down to the police report by Chief. Well, Fred's not here, I don't think, Mary's going to say.
We're gonna leave the report because we don't like the second. Okay.
Zoning officers report, I think you did it all before, right, Deb? You have anything else?
No, that's not it. Is Mayor doing the report or no? No? Okay. We mailed a certificate of occupancy to Patterson Street to Rich Chabala for some electrical work that was done. Also issued a shed permit and a fence permit. Denied a zoning permit for a manufactured home on Carbondale Road. And addressed some complaints about garbage on Belmont Street. And since I could not physically see the garbage and could not enter the property, I did call the property owner as a courtesy and to make sure that that garbage was removed. Gave them 24 hours and she assured me that it was done. The next steps for the Maple Street property are to go to the magistrate for an order for them to repair the fence, to make them repair the fence and remove all the junk on the property. If that order is received and it still isn't done within so many days, then it would be up to the borough. You would have to get an injunction again from the magistrate. And it would be on the borough to repair the fence and remove the property and put a lien on the property. And I don't know if we want.
I think the magistrates can give injunctions,
It would be.
which is a lot more formal than landmark.
But it would be most likely just knowing the history of that property owner and past zoning issues there, and he's never addressed anything. It would probably come down to that Court of Common Pleas court order, and the borough would have to pay to do the things.
That garbage in Belmont Street.
Mhm.
Is there anything they can do through law enforcement to have something done about what's going on there?
Police can't enter their property either without, you can't just enter somebody's property. If it's physically seen from the
Right.
street or from the sidewalk,
Right.
I can address it.
That's
I can't-
amazing. That's a
it's-
tough
It's
situation.
behind a fence.
That's a terrible situation, but go on.
If the owner couldn't, the owner give you permission to go on the property?
You get permission.
Yes, and
If you could-
didn't she cooperate?
She-
Leave?
She went over there and made them move the trash from where it was to another spot until they could remove it the next day.
Well, if she gave us permission, then please be.
She didn't give me the permission to go on the property, though. She,
So the landlord of that home needs to get law enforcement or
someone.
yourself, like yourself, to,
to the property.
that's a tough situation there with a food restaurant. But anyway, okay. What else you got there?
The only other thing, well, of course, all these things that have been going on, had to complete what they call a check receipt for the South Tower work upgrades that were done on South Street. It's just emailed out to them tonight, so. Lots of phone calls and lots of emails, and lots going on. And I did, email council with a suggestion of, a company to go through to do for zoning.
Call them and left them a message, but maybe call back.
Yeah, that might be, that might be the best way. I agree with Shane and talking to him. He said he talked to you a little bit after the last meeting. And I think that's probably our best way to go. takes everything off our plate pretty much. And has somebody outside responsible that knows what they're doing and doing it for a long time, right?
Mhm.
So, yeah,
And once your ordinances are updated, it'll be much easier.
exactly. Do you
Compliance-wise.
know how that's going, being Michelle like this? You have no idea, so. is
Never
anybody-
been contacted by.
I know Michelle said she would stay on that and help out, but do you know anything, Jan, in regards to, nothing yet, right?
I don't know.
And I was gonna say zoning wise, the email is all uploaded on the computer in there and the passwords. I created the Google Drive with all the documents that I've used, all the forms, all the complaint letters. It's all on the computer in there for the next.
Well, thank you.
So should we nominate an interim zoning officer until we get a process?
Do we have?
Look around.
Well,
Somebody's gonna have to do it and answer the emails until we get, I called an EIC last week, but I just didn't hear anything, so we're not gonna have one for a month.
Okay.
I've been answering them so far. But the thing is, if you're gonna hire somebody, please hire somebody that has some background in it.
That's what we're talking to NEFC, is they subcontract for that. Get prices on it anyway, but until then, it'll be
Because I've had two people
one piece.
meet me in Waymart at the restaurants that want the job, and neither one of them have any background or information. And I'm like,
Here's where we are. We're satisfied with Debbie because of her experience and her years doing the job. She's recommended somebody that she's worked with, and I think we should go there, depending on the price, obviously. But
No, only prices.
I know what it used to be. I don't know what it is.
If they hit the water mostly with all the fees, and
That is who is hit primarily, like,
arguably excessively. Something like that.
they bill usually per hour, but they break it up in 15-minute increments. So if they're answering emails and phone calls, they're not charging you for a full hour of service. They're charging you for.
you did mention that to me too. But that's a nice idea anyway, that they're not trying to bury you, time when you can't really keep an eye on.
I mean, they're Sterling Township zoning officers. They are Jessup Borough, where there's heavy development in Jessup Borough and lots of issues. Same thing with Sterling Township. They did Homestead Borough for quite a few years.
Some of us are learning here, we're starting to grow a little bit, so we got some good things going on in the community and all that.
And with the natural gas, you're going to have more development because we're a prime location right now with accessibility to the highways. We're a prime location for development. So this is why it's important you get your zoning ordinances up to date. Have somebody that knows what they're doing regarding zoning.
I did speak to Mr. Shepstone.
Oh, you did?
Yes. And he has started the process. He doesn't want any money up front. And he's not only doing art, he's doing all this at the same time. But I got a very positive response from him. And and obviously he knows what he's doing, so.
And I did upload several municipalities
He's
locally,
gonna be,
their ordinances on
Around
the drive in there.
in a couple of weeks, he's gonna be here with anybody else that's interested.
Okay,
And go over everything,
excellent.
What time of day is that at?
every time he decides.
You shoot an email out there, but
I will, if you want me to. Someone that has a schedule on it.
Are you good then? Thank you.
You can't wait.
Okay, solicitor's report. Chris, nothing to report. Correspondence, any? I don't think.
Yes.
Do you have one? Have something?
I have the correspondence. First of all, the DLS response from Waymart Borough. For the month of June, there were 69 dispatches, 59 responses, and unavailable 10. Only 25 calls were in Waymart itself. We also have a letter from the Lane County Office of Emergency Management Wayne County EMA will be holding the third quarter training meeting on August the 17th. At, start time will be 6:30 at 43 Volunteer Drive, Holmesdale, which of course is the 911 center. Dinner will be there. They always have snacks and stuff. We'll be at the building about 6 o'clock. And it's open to any EMCs, secretaries, and supervisors, in our case, borough members. So if anybody's interested, please get back to me because they do like to have reservations so they know how many are coming. So that's the 17th of August. And then I got an email today from Pennsylvania Association of Boroughs. The Pennsylvania State Association of Boroughs is pleased to provide you with an update on the status of the second round of payments under the American Rescue Plan. Last June, the municipalities across the state received their first payment of the ARPA funds to help with the pandemic recovery. We're expecting the second rounds in June. However, there was an administrative delay, which is holding up payments. We were informed that the U.S. Treasury will be releasing the funds on July 15th to the Pennsylvania Treasury. As soon as the Pennsylvania Treasury receives the funds, they should be able to distribute the funds to municipalities within 2 or 3 days. Therefore, the second ARPA payment for your borough should be distributed as soon as the week of July the 18th. As with programs such as ARPA, details continue to change. So all of you, I encourage on council to go to their website for the latest updates, and it's just boroughs.org. Very simple. And I also got a letter on the 26th, I don't know if it was, but the 26th of this month, there will be a special meeting at the Park Complex as you enter Holmesdale. And it'll be the Wayne County Commissioners are the host for it. And I am going. It is a final meeting on the ARPA funds and how they're going to spend their $9.7 million. So we want to, I'm going, and our engineer Joe Gelon is going, and anybody else who would be interested. It's from 7 to 9 p.m. That's the correspondence.
I'm also going to make it. If anybody else on council, that's just up the 26, 7 and 9 p.m. If anybody can make it, if anybody from Waymart Borough can make it, the more we have to show, maybe a little bit more, you know, so, but it is the 26th. And it's putting a lot of work into all this stuff too, with that ball field with Joe July. And it's appreciated. She's been working really hard. And hopefully we'll hit the jackpot. If not, we'll do what we can with the ball field, with what we have. Jane, you have anything else there? No. I have one correspondence to whom it may concern. Upon learning of the open Waymart Borough Secretary position, I was eager to contact you with my interest. I feel as though I would be a great fit based on my previous and current work history. As a current administrative assistant with a local publisher, I have gained excellent customer service skills on the phone, in person, and via email. I pay strong attention to detail and am highly organized. I have many years of experience in filing, typing, and management accounts as well. My previous position at UPS for the past 4 years have given me great experience in inspecting documents for accuracy and efficiency and processing. I also garnered superb skills in document preparation and data entry. Please consider me for this position as I am highly interested in becoming more involved in serving my community. Thank you for your time. Sincerely, Bethany Swingle.
Does it say where she lives?
That's she lives, Gravity.
Yeah, she lives in the borough.
She lives in the borough. She's my neighbor. She's Chip's neighbor. And it's an interest. So.
I talked to Kathy this afternoon, Kathy Millard, and she says that the job descriptions for each job is in the 5.
85, okay.
And what have we been paying the secretary? 325 a month. 325 a month.
325 a month, okay.
This is what we're going to offer this. We decided at this moment.
Well,
Year.
yeah,
Started a little lower, probationary.
right, yeah, and like we decided, based on,
90 days,
I
like we
think,
did.
yeah, I think the 90 days thing was a good idea, yeah.
See what we started figuring out.
Here's what I thought about, whoever we hire, I asked Kathy when I was talking to her, I guess we're talking to Kathy for a while, but
That's why she came to the house.
I asked her if she would she help us train a new secretary for 2 months? And then we'll pay her to train the new girl, so that she gets trained well enough to Kathy, and then we can move forward. What do you want to do about this, young lady? Do you want to wait for?
That's what I was going to ask Chris. Can we do that? We have.
Yeah, we should.
How did she know about the job? I told her. Nobody was reaching out for anybody. Everybody went a month without anybody. We didn't advertise. We should have advertised last year. But anyway, this.
It was a little last minute, the last secretary. It was a bit last minute, so at the end of the meeting, so we really didn't like opportunity. I reached out to several people to get my interest. Yeah, so this is an appointed position. I don't think you can advertise for it, so maybe we should make a motion to hire Beth. I know that person.
You know, that's so, yeah.
Now, the only thing with that, she called me Sunday, she went in for retina surgery today. Otherwise she'll be at the meeting. And she's gonna need 2 weeks to maybe a month to heal. Okay, so we don't have. I just wanted to put that out there.
That's good, so we know.
I certainly have no objection. I think she's a wonderful person and we do a good job.
You know her well too, then, Jim?
No, I.
Not well, but
But you made the motion on it.
No, I didn't make a motion. I
do
suggested.
you want to interview her, or do you want to just put her on? I mean,
You need a secretary for the.
huh? What's that, Craig?
Started.
Yeah, we're talking about a 90-day probation, which we did with Jerry when she came on.
And she can't do it for a month, so, but in the meantime, I can bring the files, like you said, and give her a copy of the job description.
Well, then my question is, do you want to hire her now, or do you want to wait a month?
Somebody's got to.
Somebody's got it. That's right. There's work to be done here that needs to be done as a secretary. Can't do it though. No, exactly.
And you need a secretary for that conditional use name.
Yeah, and we'll need one there too, right? Yeah. Shane, any idea? You want?
That's a special meeting, but it's not, no, that's not. a
Yeah.
secretary. You don't need a zoning secretary.
You know.
That's your regular
Hey, you know what? If it don't work out after 90 days,
Well, she may be healed in 2 weeks.
Yeah, but I've had
I
retina
don't,
surgery
like
myself.
I said, she went through surgery today. She'll be staying with her mother.
So 250 a month.
for 325.
Jerry started at 300, then she got a $25.
She started at 300, it was, no, and 25 after that, after the 90 days, was it?
How many years? Okay, so we'll make a motion to hire Beth Eastover,
Yeah,
300 a month.
I would be okay with $300 a month, I think. I mean, yeah, there's work.
That's not very much.
I'll second the motion.
We got a motion by Shane. I'm sorry. 90-day probation. 90-day probation, right.
That's great.
The 90-day probation is in there. What else did we have last month then? So we'll get the motion right so that everything's in there that we need. She got 90-day probation, $3 an hour to start.
And after 90 days, she'll be paid.
Not an hour.
After when? After 90 days?
Yes.
We'll see when that comes then, based on job performance. Okay. 90 days. Okay, anybody else? Okay, we got a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any
Second
nays?
the motion.
Jane, I think.
James seconded the motion. Thank you. So we got that. Okay, I'm up, budget and finance, cleanup day. We need to see to get the price and the date. Okay, we were looking a month or two ago about a middle of September date. Something different, people vacation in the summer, try September, mid-September. Did we have a date on that we were?
That was on the date. I got bundle waste and Halo service container at their prices. We talked a little bit about it last meeting.
Right, okay.
Bundle, and I got examples. Bundle waste gave us a few different examples.
Okay.
They gave us Indian Rocks, Allpack Township, and Texas Township, all bigger than Waymart Borough.
Okay.
Bundle waste said that on average, they all use 6 30-yard containers. Well, Indian Rocks uses 6 30-yard containers.
Okay.
Texas Township uses 6 40-yard containers.
Okay.
So if we were to go off of those, for examples, and we filled all 6 containers up with the dumping fees, bundle waste was at $7,530, $7,530. That's for 6 40-yard containers.
640 yard.
6 40-yard containers.
We're much smaller than any of those places you just mentioned.
Yeah,
But it's been 5 years since we picked up, and Debbie's been seeing some of it along
The question is, I have a question this afternoon. They want to know if they'll take electronics.
I'll ask. I believe they will, but
I don't believe they will.
No, I don't think they will.
No.
I'll ask. Halo container service, basically the same. I just did everything the same. And it's very close. It's $6,840. Halo's the one outside of town.
That's the new guy.
No, yeah,
He's what, 6 what?
6840.
6840.
Trouble with Halo is they don't have 30 and 40-yard containers. They have 20-yard containers. So if you just do the math and figure it all out, it's 6840 for the same. They would just have to bring more 20-yard containers.
So the low bid would be, the low price is Halo right now, the 2 of them that you looked at.
And they're right here. What was that? Yeah. Yep, I'll ask them if they take electronics.
Okay.
So-
And tires. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, if we're doing electronics, we should tie in with a couple other communities because really you don't have, I mean, everybody probably has a TV laying somewhere where they're hiding it for now.
Not me.
The Wayne County YMCA does it twice a year, electronics recycling at Wayne County Fairgrounds.
Most of them do.
25, I think, a carload, and if it's a business, they charge 100.
I know when I called a couple years ago, the only one that would take tires is Tonkin. And he charged, was it like, it was $1 or $2 they charged for a tire.
To charge when Butler was doing it.
Yep. And there was, he said, no electronics.
On the same vein with garbage, in the same vein, there's a new company, Eastern Waste,
They're awesome.
they're incredible. I've had County Waste, their office is out in Indianapolis, I think. Anytime I've called, the minimum wait to get somebody on the phone is a half hour.
Mhm.
I know that.
When I called, I put my phone right here so I could hear it.
Street for 2
Half
weeks
hour,
straight,
no, no.
piling up. I called, they said, don't worry, we'll get it this weekend. They never came, they just waited until the next cycle, the following Friday. It's awful. I called Eastern Waste, you leave a message, the guy calls you back within 10 minutes, he works out of Holmesdale. I asked him to do me a favor, if he'd come, because I was having a party Saturday, couldn't count on the County Waste coming to pick it up. He says, I'll send somebody out there early Saturday morning. He sent somebody over to pick up County Waste garbage for us. So you can get a guy on the phone, he's local, and we switched over for, I think, everybody else on our street.
When I finally got a hold of County Waste, I said, I want my cans out of here Monday. Well, it might be 6 weeks. I says, no, they'll be gone Monday. He says, because if you don't come and pick them up, they're going. I don't know where I'll take them, but they'll be gone. Sure enough, they were there Monday morning and they picked them up.
A few weeks ago, they put a disclaimer on their website, the GFL, the
Mhm.
company that now owns County Waste. If you want to cancel your service, you must send them a registered, certified letter with a return receipt. Otherwise, they will continue billing you and taking it out of your account.
Yeah, see, we don't do automatic billing,
Yeah.
and that's the reason why.
No, but if they have your money, I mean, they bill us monthly, we're just not paying. So they come get their cans, they're not coming. There's not even a place around here where you can go throw your cans and say, here, I'm done with it.
Nope.
They won't even tell you. From what I understand, they have a local place in Lake area. I don't know where it is. Because when the guy was picking up the garbage after 2 weeks, I said, this has been here for 2 weeks. I have no idea. Probably still paying.
As a matter of fact, the guy from Eastern, I messaged him on Facebook because I messaged him and I said, can you please call me? No sooner I clicked on send and my phone was ringing.
Eastern Waste, it's called.
Really nice guy to talk to.
Okay,
So far responsive.
they have containers?
Yep,
Okay.
Okay, you know,
409-6933.
yes, there's containers.
You'll get a call back from an
The
845.
dumpster.
Oh, the big, I think so.
and,
Thanks, Chris.
what date do we want to go? We want to go to the middle of September, which I think is a good idea. And we want it on what, a Friday, Saturday? Saturday? Huh? Saturday, right? Okay. So it's on a Saturday. There's, the first is the 3rd, the second week is the 10th, third week is the 17th, and the fourth week is the 24th.
First, it's not good.
Yeah, yep, not good. Okay, 3 is out. 10, 6. We have to find out. Oh, yeah, we have to find out if they're available that day, too. Okay, well, we got to go give him a date so he can shoot with it. Yeah, okay,
I'll lock it in
okay.
and report back.
Is the 10th okay, the 17th? We'll shoot with 2 of them?
For those 2 dates,
Okay,
I'll ask them to do those 2 days.
okay. Yep. All right, and what I'd like to do is if we could, do the 10th and the 17th.
Okay.
Is we're going to have that special meeting coming up, and I'd like to get this on the agenda so we have it done in August. So everybody's ready for it for a month later in September. Okay, so we'll tag that in for our next meeting. We can. Thanks all. Have it on the advertisement, yeah, sadly.
It's advertised.
If we're gonna meet at 6 o'clock, we have to advertise it. Frankly, I'm against meeting at 6 o'clock.
It's a little difficult.
Well, your special meeting is at 6:30.
And anyway, while I'm up and Jane's on that, I'm asking council to reconsider the 6 o'clock start. We had mixed reactions. Randy brought it up. He was looking for it. Shane has 3 children. He's got to get home and he can't get here for 6 o'clock. So he gets relieved with, unless he brings the family.
I could bring the kids.
But anyway,
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion that we bring it back to 6:30 start, where it always was, and go from there. If I can have a second?
Second.
Okay, second. All those in favor? Aye. No? We're good. We're good. Thank you, guys. You know what? I skip past, as my good mayor always reminds me, I went by guests and citizens. If there's anybody else that has a license to, speak now. Everybody's okay?
Are we, I don't know if we're on the agenda for stormwater runoff.
You know what? Yeah.
I don't know when we would.
Yeah.
No, we have a sign in here, that's all you have to do when you come into the meeting. You want to speak? But go right ahead.
I was on the understanding we were on the agenda. I talked to Donnie a little bit about it last week, so we need to be on the agenda because, I'm sorry.
No, go on, I said, go on, speak on.
Well, because anybody here, if you were to take the city stormwater and dump it on their property, in their backyard, would anybody like that or be okay with it? Are we all cool with that?
No, I don't think so. I don't,
And that's blatantly what has been done on our property.
right. You were never asked for permission. I asked you that once before. You told me
Where's the
you were.
property what you're talking about?
It's the top of Birch Street where the wastewater runoff was diverted
Conservation.
from the ditches onto our property. So,
It was the stormwater project that was started many, many years ago, and we were invited to a borough meeting,
Okay.
and then it just got dropped.
we
And
were,
then all of a sudden, the project got done, and the water is streaming down our property.
it's carving a new ditch across our
Yeah.
property.
Well, Shane and I went up to look at it, and then I took Attorney Thurlow up to take a look at it, and I don't know where your property line is, but I do understand your situation. I believe that's your plan.
It was recently surveyed by Ed, who was here.
Right, it
so,
was there, okay.
Yeah, it's all legit.
But do you want to speak on this?
Honestly, when we were up there a couple months ago,
Yeah, maybe a couple months ago, yeah.
I don't recall
Well, that's okay.
what we came up with. Honestly, I don't recall.
Yeah, we just that any time you told me if anybody runs water on somebody else's property, it's a problem.
Yes.
That was all we spoke about. That's what-
So is it-
Goes back to the conservation district. Conservation district. That's who we go back to.
That's where we gotta go, right? That's what I
Yeah,
think.
it's fine.
That's what I
No,
think.
no, I disagree.
Okay, will you help me out?
I totally disagree. The conservation office did some sort of plan for the borough to accept to perform the work,
It was engineered.
supposedly. I could have engineered that in my barn overnight. All they did was divert, the water was going down Birch Lane ditch.
Right.
Totally cut that off. There are diverters in the pipe, and it just pumps it out the end onto our property.
Correct.
Well, this is not,
It's not engineering.
what kind of freaking engineered plan is that?
Well,
And whoever from the borough accepted that it's ludicrous.
well, that's where I saw. it.
Because it's the same as me dumping that water on anybody else's property.
And there's a new catch basin down the bottom of the road.
It's not catching anything.
Yeah.
You didn't get to the dam.
And it's actually it's too high.
High above.
Yep.
But there was a grate that was supposed to be in there that never got put in
The
there.
great, right, the
And
code
that
was
was
supposed
to
to be a
protect
great
people
pool.
on the other side also of the road
Right,
to pick up the water as it comes down the hill.
right.
So does it go,
I thought we could do it to straighten it out for you, and this is just an opinion, is take it and swing it back down the hill, have that ditch dug back out. First of all, conservation shouldn't have paid anything until they came up and looked at
But
it.
so does it go back, is it the engineer or is it the person that did it?
correct me if I'm wrong, but the borough got a private, no wait, correct me if I'm wrong, but the borough got a grant from the state years ago to take care of whatever, runoff problem there was. So, all right, I'm confused.
Take your time.
Let me say this, Jeff. Okay? I'm not an engineer. Any engineers in here? So if they hired an engineer and that's what they came up with, we can't second guess it.
Oh, can't you get the engineer back and
Really?
say what?
Yeah, there's no common sense applies here when you take a pipe, right? And I'm gonna run it to your backyard and just dump it in it.
Well,
Really, you're gonna tell me that's,
did the engineers come back and confirm that the contractor did the work properly?
I don't know. If they lived in it.
Well, then if the work was done properly, then it was engineered incorrectly, and I request that the
I know
engineer
what they
come
were
back.
planning to do, but where I'm gonna go there because that's, it all has to do with the time. And whoever put it in did it wrong, so they missed the mark. They wanted it to go in.
That may be true, but I'm not the one to say that.
So how do we look?
Okay, so as you're the council, you guys are the borough. We're asking for help. You guys put this problem on us. We're only asking for help. Okay?
How do you go back? Where do we start? Who, you get
Did
an
anybody,
engineer
did
involved?
not anything about
The
it?
only thing I could suggest is go back to the Conservation Department.
But they're not.
That was,
That's where the
Five
grant,
years from now, we're gonna do another study and.
Does anybody have a copy of the plans?
Blueprint.
Lillian had
The
used
blueprint?
I gave
quite a
them,
while ago.
and the plans are right here in this borough
Lillian was
building.
Still,
I think this is pretty stupid.
but it got dropped, it never went anywhere until new council came on board, and then Shane and Don, is it Don?
Yes,
Were nice enough to respond to an inquiry from my husband, and
we went up and we took a
you
walk.
looked at it, and got
Because that project I never was aware of, that came before me. They had worked on this for some time.
I just think it's,
And as a representative of this borough, that's why when you called, who put the pipe in? That would have been Eddie Mullen. Eddie
Yep.
Mullen did the construction work, right? Yes, you know.
it's my understanding that Eddie started and your guys finished it.
No,
That's what I was
You
told.
mean the borough's guys?
Yes.
no,
I don't think so.
no, they did not.
Did it from the beginning.
Yeah, it was the opposite. Because we didn't have the equipment, so Eddie went up and
And somebody
finished it.
confirmed that that was done according to the plan. So then we have to go back to the people who did that
We
plan,
don't have to do nothing.
that not we. the-
Conservation Department.
Somebody's got to go back to them, council has to go back to them.
And he was there.
Somebody re-engineer it, and we want to be involved in those meetings like we
This
were
is your
years
system.
ago.
I disagree.
I'll get on the telephone with Jeff. I have to meet, I met with him a few times already with a project in town that we're gonna do. I'll meet with them, I'll pull the contract out, because I don't even know what the original contract is, but I'm sure we have to have.
Here, Don Bob.
I
David?
think it was Jeff.
Jeff did,
It was designed in collaboration with Jeff Weinberger and Conservation. Conservation was paying, they had signed off on it. I don't know exactly who came up with the design. I really don't know.
Maybe we should help get the
They had it.
engineer, contractor up there and say there's a problem.
And us. As it's flowing onto our property, we hereby request to be involved in these meetings.
And while we're asking about the catch basin, is it now?
Yeah, it's true. And we're even getting more in the one corner of our backyard. It just finally dried out this summer. So I agree. I understand your issue, but something has changed to put more water into our backyard as well.
We intend to.
I don't
build
know
on-
what.
Not that this makes a hill of Indians, and it shouldn't make a hill of Indians. We intend to build on that parcel land next year. Okay? I'm not gonna sit around and wait for surveys and engineering reports from Penn State, and whoever to frickin' develop it. So I think we're looking for a little bit more quicker solution.
I have the quickest solution, and
I do too, I have an excavator, but I don't want to.
it's not my expertise, but you look at it, the pipe has to come back down, and we gotta get it into, maybe the pipe should go
Takes 1
down
hour.
and covered.
That takes 1 hour. Literally, the pipe, it's, just take the diverter route and let it flow back down the ditch where it's supposed to go.
None of that land belongs to the borough, and that street is not the borough. That's a private driveway that used to go to Stark. And he owns almost down to the other road.
Start this.
No, he's moved. He's not here anymore.
Gone.
Oh, he's got it, okay.
Yeah.
Birch Lane is
The
not
wards.
owned by the borough.
Nope.
no.
No.
So
No,
they,
sorry.
so did the borough get?
Yes, it was
the borough
permission.
got permission, but they never asked permission from us to divert.
Where to dump it onto.
So can we be involved in these meetings as, to know what rectification is going
Well,
on?
I don't see why not. You're still living in Waymart, you're a
Yes,
property
we
owner,
still
you're
do.
a taxpayer.
Okay, so what if I go up there and,
Divert it yourself?
yeah, divert it myself?
Probably trespassing, but that'd be.
No, I don't very well. I'm not worried
That'd be
about that.
between you and the, I won't interrupt you. Don't interrupt me, okay? That'd be between you and the property owner.
You know what? I don't want to interrupt you. Nobody asked me.
Actually, you just did interrupt.
Nobody asked me to divert just damn water on my property.
Okay, just calm down, Bo.
So that's interruption. We didn't ask for this. We don't bother nobody in this freaking town.
So we'll work on it.
You'll work on it.
Okay, we won't work on it.
I told you we're gonna look into it. Yeah. Look here, all right?
Nobody worked on asking us during this. Do what you gotta do then. If you have to do what you. But no one asked us in the beginning, so why are we sort of not gonna work on it? Repeating yourself. We understand that, sir.
Right. Okay.
Do what you gotta do.
Whatever.
All right, and we're gonna do what we have to do it the proper way, okay?
In all fairness to Craig, he just came on tonight, so he's just getting a little bit of this tonight in regards to the
Yeah, it's a
property.
couple-year-old,
Yeah, it's just like a festering sore.
But we,
A solution for who?
he wanted to know what the solution.
Well, no, but I just said that the first thing you need to do is go back to soil and water conservation, get a copy, get a copy.
I want to know what the solution was for.
She really says, Mrs. Rollinson, that we should go back to conservation ourselves and see what's going on down there in regards to the situation on your property.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Should we follow up in, what, 30 days or less?
Yes, yeah. I mean, come to the next meeting again and let's see where we can get between now and then. Because this is the first time we're really having an open discussion in regards, with the exception of when Shane and I came up with the call.
Okay.
And let's see what conservation has to say in regards to how we can fix that by changing it without creating any problems elsewhere or what they call it. And I don't mean that, I don't mean elsewhere. I mean, we want to make sure everybody is not getting water that they should be, is what I'm trying to say. Shane's good, Greg's good, everybody has a little background. We'll all go up and take a look at it one day, and then we'll start from there. And we'll use our.
I'll keep you. All right.
Thank
Thanks, thanks, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else have anything to say? You're up.
Looks like they're getting ready to do Prospect Street.
Okay.
A lot of markings and everything started, and they haven't done anything about the water problem on Prospect Street.
At the bottom?
Yes.
Yeah, that's in the contract. Waco has the contract.
Right, but shouldn't that be done
Yeah, oh, yeah.
well before they blacktop?
They haven't
so it
started yet.
settles And everything
Yeah.
before they blacktop?
No, I agree. Well, UGI looks like they went around and marked, for final restoration on the ditches. I think that's what all the PA one call marks are for, all around town. Waco, I met on yesterday, 2 days ago. I met Jeff a couple of days ago. Went over the project. He's gonna move equipment in, but there's drainage, both sides of, at the end of Prospect Street, the ditches get dug out, new riprap installed.
Or are they gonna divert any water from the side that runs down to the other side?
No.
It's not gonna fix the problem.
No. Well, the problem is the ditches are too shallow. So we're gonna dig them out and put some R3 stone in it to slow the water down. Otherwise, we'd be thinking the same issue, is we can't really take water into where it's otherwise we have to do.
And the state engineer that Shane was working with to set this, the roads up, is gonna have the state come over, PennDOT, and make sure that draining pipe at the bottom of the road is clear, so that the water, once it gets there, it's gonna be going down the highway, staying in the waterway.
But it's not gonna stay clear.
I don't know.
When it rains and pours, I'm down there with
Well, you see it all.
I go down there with a rake to try and pull all the crap out of it to keep it flowing. It's just not, it's not possible to send that much water down one side of the road into that. Coming down the road, coming down Prospect Street, there's just no way. It has to be, something has to be diverted to the other side.
But we did talk about that, Dave, with him, up a little higher coming across to the other side, so it was on the right side going down.
So the ditch on the right-hand side is filled in, so we're gonna reestablish that ditch, okay? And then when we pave it, we're gonna reestablish the crown in the road. So then we'll divert water using the crown to keep it in the ditch. But as far as drainage pipes, there's no pipes. We have to dump our water onto PennDOT road. PennDOT's pipe isn't in the best shape, but that's not our sales. So we talked to PennDOT and they were going to do it. They were going to have the fire company and shed come and clean it out. Okay.
Okay. We're there already, so hopefully
Yeah, so while we're on the subject, Jeff will, I started marking out most of the pothole patching in the town, just about done. Met with Jeff, he's gonna mobilize next week. So we'll start work hopefully next week.
Okay, good. All right. Okay, Parks and Recreation, I'm sorry, Craig, that'll be your position. Michelle Turquati's pretty good at it, so if you want to give Michelle a quick call.
No, she the
Parties in the park.
yeah, get back to the project about Wayside Park. But the thing is, the most of all is sit down with her about the scheduling. If you don't want more than 3 down there, have 4 or 5 teams go at the same time. So that's.
Council. Problem solved, Jimmy.
We're trying to get that meeting down too, and I can bring that back up before we leave. We had 2 bids, and Heinz said he was happy with Eddie Mellon, and Eddie Mellon doesn't really want to do it, so we're inspired, so we should look again and see what we can do as far as just making phone calls and all that, just request on a price for cutting that tree down in the ball field. Yes.
It's on the edge. The problem is you gotta get
Third baseline.
get access to get to that tree. And I think Eddie, he backed off.
And that's why Heinz backed off, because to bring that bucket truck over, it would take him forever and a day to walk it through, and he's worried about damaging anything on the field, even though we're hoping to do it. So that's why he didn't want to do it. He didn't want to cause any more problems going across. So if we know somebody that can take down a tree. It's a big tree, but.
It's a very big tree, and it's an ash.
We had a high price of $2,400, and we had a low price of almost $1,300.
So it's the access.
And it's on the neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what, Reverend Day, and I don't know if you know the Reverend. Reverend May, so I think.
Well, maybe he should cut it down.
It's
I think it's on his property.
If it's on his property.
The tree is right on the line, half and half. That's what even Earl Vinton mentioned to me, but because I even talked to Earl, I said, what's up? It seems pretty curious that it's there and it's half.
You can't just cut out in half.
You did. Well done, that's good.
Reverend May should be responsible for that tree.
You think that, okay, well then, how do we go about doing that though? I mean, Chris, he claims it's right on.
Well, if a young child was playing there during a game and a branch fell down on the kid, I think who would they go after? So, the deepest pocket. So,
Although we might have some people.
I think if we send a letter maybe to him saying that since he says it's on the line, that he's half responsible for taking it down, maybe he could sell us that piece of property that Joe July and I are trying to get.
well, I think that's a good way to work through it.
Yeah, I would say he's gonna.
Yes, he said it to you, right?
He says it's not.
He said it to you, right?
Yeah, the Reverend.
Yes, he said it was on the line, right?
He told me.
So let us send a letter to him now.
Being that it's on the line, you're half responsible.
Let him watch the video.
You said it in the list.
Johnny Miller, because I like this. Okay.
Who's going to compose a letter?
But the Reverend doesn't object to the tree coming down. So what do we need to send a letter?
Because he doesn't object for it, because he doesn't want to pay anything.
Okay, so they can choose not to be involved, say the tree.
We'll get permission to go on his property to take the tree down.
But why should the taxpayers pay for something on someone else's property?
Well, it's on the line.
But we shouldn't have to pay for it off.
Window, just a giant window. And down your property. Just imagine a giant window paint down your property line that goes up into the sky. And anywhere a tree goes over the property line on yours, you can cut it down. So we got a problem with it going over and dropping on our property. We can go up and drop it.
But you can't trespass on somebody's property to get to it, can you?
Did he tell us that we can't go on his property?
I don't know if anybody asked him.
What I understand at the last meeting, he said you can come down and chop it down if you want. He's okay with it.
He did, and now we don't have nobody to cut it down.
But they're thinking that they would have to go across the field in order, can they come down through May's property to get to the tree?
Well, you know what, that's a good point, because I was thinking about that.
I'm gonna go talk to the gentleman.
Greg is gonna talk to the gentleman, and, yeah. and then
I'll iron it out. I'll work my magic.
Okay. so
Put it in his hands,
we'll
too.
talk to him and take care of that, and then we'll know what's going on there. You can let myself know, or Jane know, or Jane. And then we'll get together. and we'll do something. Huh?
It's fine, so I give you permission to come down my property and try it.
Well, Chris, you figured it out, it's up there too, for the last time when we were gonna go do it. Now, there's nothing for it. I'll get that. Okay, are we ready to move on?
Ready.
Okay, Don Miller, utilities.
Would you each month check the AED to see if it's charged to run along?
Yes.
We need to have, and the same with the police, we need to have somebody check it every month.
Gets recorded.
No, just to want to make sure it's charged up.
I mean, is there a chart, like a chart on it? You have to check.
Oh, that gets checked, yeah, that generates.
I don't know. I don't know. It's over there. He's still waiting for the police to contact him, Steve Fish. He wanted to explain to them how to use it, but they're still just sitting there. So,
All the police know how to use it. Fred, the language teacher every year. They know how to use it. The thing is, we have to get them in the car.
yeah, I understand it. They wanted him so badly, and they sat here for a month.
They know how to use it. They were just trained. They're trained everything.
Okay, purchasing and building. Randy Torp, he's not here tonight.
Mr. Howell?
Well, we need permission to order paper and other items.
Pardon?
When I did the agenda, and by the way, I didn't know these people were supposed to be on the agenda. Permission to order paper. We're almost out of paper. Can I make an order?
I would strongly suggest
And second of all, is there anything anybody wants or needs, secretary, treasurer, police, that I can put in the order? Does anybody need any supplies for anything?
Well, then, I'll make a motion so that Jane could have either Randy or herself order paper and any other item that you might need for the, copy thing. All right,
I'll second.
second it, David? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Nays?
I understand.
That's the one abstention, Jane, okay? All right. Now we're going to planning with Jane Barco. Jane, you're up again.
Okay, very happy to report. I'm excited. Here's your application for your application. The PMVB, which is the Pocono Mountain Vacation Bureau, is pleased to inform you of an awarded a 2022 Tourism Impact Grant in the amount of $4,000 for steps platform on the D&H Gravity Open Air Park. And there's a lot more that's here, but anyway, I'm very pleased. So we are going to go ahead and build a platform to the car. And we have a lot of people that go back and look at car 43, so this will be better access for the car 54.
Trying to for something while you're on 43.
Yeah.
Got a little fire truck over at the fire company. It would be so nice to have that out on a display somewhere in our community.
It would be.
They drive it.
Huh?
They drive it. When they drive around?
Yeah, they were in the parade, right? I think I saw them in the parade then and all that. Yeah, that would be nice if it was on display somewhere and you make it.
You know, in Homestead, when you shop at the lights, have you noticed it? There's, yeah, there's steam engine one. Isn't that nice on the corner there? When you stop, you have, look to your right, folks, and you'll see it there.
Just after the hospital?
When you come down Main Street, when you come down the street, you go across the bridge, you come to the light, and it used to be a gas station.
Across the street from the hotel. It used to be a car.
A car dealer, it used to be a car dealer. But that's not the one, it really does.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if anybody's got any firemen or anybody that would like to get involved, and, you know, maybe we can work something out, do something. in regards to that. So, I think it's over in the old garage with the.
We're trying to get the property, to get the heirs of the Kennedy family to sign on so that I can go for a grant to build another fire hall.
Okay.
But we're still waiting for the Kennedys to sign off because it's in the deed, unfortunately, that it can only be used, the land can only be used, Kennedy's land can only be used for recreation.
How many heirs are there?
A lot of them, that's the problem. But the one comes up here and stays for the summer, so. Jack, yeah. So, but, you know, that he had a daughter by his second wife, and we're having trouble finding all of the heirs. But we have most of them traced down, so it's something we're working on, but it's slow, because it lasts until January.
Well, at least you're working on it,
Yeah.
you know, maybe something good will come out.
Now, was alluded to before, there's a meeting on the 26th from 7 to 9 at the Park Street Complex, hosted by the Wayne County Commissioners. And it is how to spend the rest of their monies. And as I said, the county got 9.7 million. And Joe July and I have applied for them, I'm glad you're all sitting down, $780,000. We feel out of 9.7 that the borough should be entitled to that part, but we shall see. Even if we get half of it, we would be very good to the bottom of the field. So any of you who would like to go to that, Park Street, everybody knows where the Park Street complex is, correct? Yeah, the old elementary. The Bob Wilson Field, we're again, going for a couple small grants. And, I met with twice up to his house, up to Joe Gilotte's house, and his dedication to this is overwhelming. He's just a positive, wonderful job. And, so we have applied again under the Greenways program and under the Parks and Recreation program for more monies. If we can get some of these grants, then we can succeed on what we want to do, especially for the lighting down at the field. The storage shed that we have the $64,000 for is still in limbo, depending on Canaan Township to tear our garage. Some of you might not know, but that's in Canaan Township. And so when I applied for this monies to do it, I didn't realize that we had to get a conditional use from Canaan Township. And so Jeff Weinberger, our engineer on this project, is working with them to get this settled. And hopefully, I've applied to the state and I got an extension of time to spend the money. So hopefully this will be resolved in the next 2 or 3 months. And Wayside Park, I talked today to from a Woodland Design. Let me listen to here. Woodland Design, and I talked to the engineer, and he finally got the $2,500 to pay for that. Thank God, we've waited months, and you know they use COVID and all this for an excuse not to get the money out. But finally, Parks and Recreation did pay, so we can move on to the next phase of decide exactly what we want in the park. And we also need to decide out of that American Rescue money, which the town has, which we have, which is 132,000, whatever it is, we have to decide how much are we going to put into Wayside Park.
But we use a chunk of that already.
Well, we used 35,000 for the Bob Wilson field, and the AEDs were 7,800.
Washing and dryer.
Washer dryer.
Washer and dryer, they still have, by the way, they're
And the
they're
cleanup
very
day.
upset because when they came
And
to us
Mr.
last month,
Stepstone,
when they came to us last month, they said that they were
not
wanting
much
to check.
left.
And the washer and dryer, as of last night, still hasn't come. So these people have been jerking them around, but they have the money and they have the check, and they've been told not to give them the check until it's installed down here. So I don't know how many months the check is good for us.
Right here.
Okay. So so we still have, we have to decide, I think Michelle, I wanted 50,000, and then we have about 25,000 still left. But we have 10,000 for Mr. Shepstone, and then 10,000 for cleanup day. I have all that in there. So
What was it, 35,000?
35,000 to match the 35,000, remember,
Yeah.
was a matching.
That's not,
We might never, if we don't get the grant, we might never spend that.
so it's just held in escrow?
Everything is something that's going anyway, except the the two checks we've written for the AED and for the flag.
Any word on the truck?
What?
Good point.
Oh, the truck.
The truck, you have to rent for the truck.
It's in and that requires, but they haven't come and said that where we are. I haven't gotten a letter or anything on it, but I was very disappointed because I read the newspaper 2 days ago that a lot of places did get money and our name was not on the list.
For the truck?
Well, that's under the gambling money.
Oh, okay.
But everybody that got it was less than $100,000.
So what's this $700,000 grant? Is that gonna go to the ball field, whatever we?
Yeah, for the lights.
For the lights is part of the ball field.
Yeah, but we have to talk about, we seem to be talking about drainage all the time. That's a nightmare down there. Drainage has to stop first.
The drainage is a nightmare.
And then we're going to rebuild the field, and then we're going, at the same time we're rebuilding the field, we're going to put the lights in. And we have enough money we could put the conduits in, but they won't give us permission to put the conduits in until we have enough money to do the other half. And you see right here on your treasurer's report that in the count that the people in Waymart and the businesses in Waymart have given to us, that we still have $163,196.69, and that was all donated locally. Plus, we have a lot of people like Pioneer, Grimm, and a lot of others that have said that they would donate income. So it's the most complicated, I must say, it's the most complicated grant I've ever dealt with. But I thank God for Joe a lot, just he knows me.
Yeah, he does. He really does.
God, it's freezing in here.
Turn the heat on, turn it on.
I'm turning into an icicle.
All right, I gotta go back to you, Darren, on safety. Do you have anything to report? Okay, thank you.
We need to send a letter of thank you to these people that don't have fire. That's another letter.
Writing all these letters.
That's what I don't know.
You.
Yeah.
Hey, can we do something then? You wanna do something here with this young lady and give her a shot at it? I need a secretary.
I'd be willing to work with her.
Didn't you vote to hire her?
We did that earlier.
I'm willing to go to her house and sit down with the reporter and help her do that, but she doesn't even know who's here. You realize, because that's not on Yeah, she just hears all these voices and she doesn't know what any of us are talking.
I have a game plan for that. I talked to Kathy Millard, knowing she doesn't want to come back to work. She enjoyed it here for her 12 years, but she had enough. Is that she would come down and train this person, whoever we pick, and stay with her for a month here, 2 meetings, and we'll pay her, and then we'll get this girl trained properly. Okay.
Sounds good.
So we're good on that then? All right. Old business, the old business.
Well, what happened to the list we were going to do with Barbie? They were gonna come and power wash and paint, blah, 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 blah.
Well, I wasn't here last month. I don't know if you talked about that then.
We did talk about
But
it.
Shane's sister is in charge of that.
Mother.
Well,
Mother.
Very young.
Very young looking mother, let me say. But anyway, the bottom line is this. We,
The pressure washing, and the historical site is asking for the refresher wash over there,
okay.
and also pressure wash car 43, because of the platform.
Okay. Can you see if they have a flyer or anything she has or information that would let us know anything else that they can do if they came into Waymart?
I want anything they'll do, really.
I know they're not using anything, so when I seen that, I wasn't sure.
Why don't you make your list of what you want them to do, and they'll say yea or nay.
Like to paint the garage and to paint out the.
I shouldn't do
And we had to give them a motion to purchase the materials.
Right behind you. Put it on 75.
There's going on, that there's not much activity, you want to jump in and help. James has a lot of other little projects that would help her and help us. So if you have time and you can find time, give her a call and ask her. They still line you up with some extra.
Garage doors up, just walk in.
Shut it down.
I have world business.
Oh, my God, no wonder.
Okay, I think I'm a former zoning hearing board solicitor. I think because I think you guys may have appointed me 15 years ago before I was solicitor and never did one thing.
No,
15 years, not one hearing, no need for it.
it
You
was
have
Mark
3 in one.
Jennings.
What's that?
It was
No,
Mark
you got
Jennings.
appointed. Don't worry, I never billed you because I never did anything.
I am telling you, it was Mark Jennings, not you.
Well, Mark Jennings is dead 10 years.
I
think
know.
I took over for Mark. But anyway, you got a problem here. You don't even know who is on your zoning hearing board. Did
I
you
gave you the names.
Yeah,
Okay, anybody check with any of them?
no,
To see if they know that they're on the hearing board? That's what I figured.
Not my job.
So the clock is ticking on all 3 of these applications. Once they're submitted, the clock ticks. If you don't take action within the allotted time, which I think is 60 days, it's just approved. And then there may be lawsuits from neighbors saying, why the hell didn't we know about this? Okay? So somebody needs to shore up and ensure that the 3 people who are on this zoning hearing board know that they're on the zoning hearing board and what they need to do. I cannot be the solicitor for the zoning hearing board. It's got to be an independent solicitor appointed by the zoning hearing board. I would recommend to them Rich Henry, but it's completely their choice. With the one, which I believe is J&J Trailer for their conditional use, I suggest you hire an independent attorney. There's going to have to be a hearing. There's going to have to be a transcriber there, stenographer. Okay, I think so.
Not in your zoning regulations.
Not in our zoning relations, but in the state. And I don't know,
That goes through planning, so that's,
I don't know who drafted our zoning things, but they seem to be in conflict with the state. The basis of anything anybody's going to do when they're building something or getting something outside of what's allowed in the zoning area is you have to let everybody know. And they have a right to be here to be heard. Now, I think we were ready to give Ed Harsh whatever he wanted tonight without checking with any of the neighbors or advertising it so that people have a right to come here and be heard in a hearing. And then if we deny it, those people have the right to take the transcript of that hearing and appeal it. So procedurally, and I'm not blaming anybody, nobody's been developing anything here in 15 or 20 years, okay? But somebody needs to get in touch with the zoning hearing board and say, you guys need to take action, hire a solicitor immediately and get the solicitor on this.
What?
And a secretary, right?
Yeah.
And a secretary.
The conditional use is usually through your planning commission. They make a recommendation to your borough council and council for
Borough council.
conditional use.
Borough council can act as the hearing officer, or they should use an independent attorney as their hearing officer. And I would suggest that, can't be me, I represent the borough. The borough's a party to that action. The person that's applying for it is another party. So I can't be in the middle. So I suggest you hire an independent attorney. I suggest you hire Rich Henry to do it, because he's very up on this. Either him or Jeff Treat, although Jeff Treat is semi-retired.
What if one of these three won't do it?
Well, that's a problem, isn't it? Because the clock is ticking on us, and you haven't appointed anybody. So if anybody here, if you want to appoint them, I suggest you do that. Or if somebody wants to make phone calls to the people that are on it real quick to find out if they know that they're on it and still want to be on it. What I'm afraid of is somebody's going to reach out this week and all three of them are going to say, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm not
They'll
interested.
remember.
I'll reach out tomorrow to the names that Bill gave me, Bob Mel, George Waters, and Jimmy South.
Okay, so let's take worst case scenario. All three of those people say, I'm not interested. What's our next step?
We gotta find three.
Is there anybody here?
I would volunteer. I would volunteer.
Mulligan would volunteer for one of those. Come on.
That's a good, you know what, Tommy, that's a good idea. Why not? If we have three people here, that would be willing, we'll take the appointment if a vacancy occurs.
I'll take another one.
You will take another one, Teresa? Okay, Teresa, no.
Wayne,
Why is it? Well, two of the things that are on are my neighbors.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right, yeah, good point.
did your property touch them?
Yeah.
You have,
Not effective, it does touch them, yeah.
Maria.
Anyone else here tonight that would like to?
Maria,
At least we know we're down to one.
Zoning hearing.
If we aren't interested in staying on zoning.
crash course.
Who's getting the crash course?
She said she knows nothing about zoning. I said crash course.
She's a smart girl.
so if we only have two, let's hope you get lucky, and one of the three will stay on. The zoning needs to make a motion to appoint them to the hearing board in the event there is a vacancy between now and the next meeting. Okay, we have one first, Lillian said first, and then Teresa second. Okay. That sound good?
I'd like to make that a motion then.
Second.
Motion by James, second by Greg. All in favor? Wait.
No, they
Ray,
didn't.
Ray wanted to say something.
I would do it with the,
Third, so we have a third in the event we lose all three.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
Lillian, Rosa, Teresa, Jeff, good night, and Maria Miller. In that order, 1, 2, 3.
I make a motion that we appoint these people in the order that the solicitor just said, in case these people, other people that have been on for years, decide not to accept.
Can we do that? Somebody go into it now?
Not appoint them now because the other ones are still in office.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, let me,
Do you have to have three on?
Believe it's 3.
See this.
you know what, we're having that meeting where I want, what did we do on the agenda? Huh?
25th we're having.
That's not a zoning hearing board.
Right.
That's a special meeting of the borough council with the planning commission, the conditional use hearing. It was not for the zoning hearing board.
Zoning hearing board is independent.
Correct, that's
They do their own thing, they make their own meetings,
Right.
and
correct.
I think you should make a motion in the event we need an attorney, as an independent attorney for the hearing for, I believe it's just for J&J Trail. I should appoint someone.
Okay. I'll make a motion. We're going to appoint them first.
Yes.
I think we have.
Do we have a motion on the floor then for the three of them with Johnny's wife, Maria? All right, well, so we have a motion. All in favor? Aye. Any nays?
No.
Frank, you good? Okay. I'm just wondering how come not, we don't have to do Bobcat.
They didn't do a formal permit for the conditional use. Yeah.
Okay.
Or is it permit? The only formal one you have is for a change.
And in that motion, did you name them 1, 2, and 3 like you wanted to?
Yeah, well, I said this is solicited listed in there.
So that's good. I'll make a motion that we hire Rich Henry for our solicitor for the zoning board.
No,
No, the zoning hearing
No,
board
we
has
can't
to
do that.
as the independent attorney,
Okay.
as a hearing officer
Okay.
for the conditional use in the matter of J.J.
And who pays this attorney?
I'm not sure what our ordinance says, but I think we could have fees that our ordinance will say that they should pay him. I don't know if our ordinance does. We could also charge a fee.
The conditional use that J&J is going for is not through the zoning hearing board. That's the variance that's going to have to be heard for the housing authority.
Okay.
The conditional use is done under the Waymart Borough Planning Agency and approved by the Waymart Borough Council. Then all the steps are in here that it has to meet in harmony with the purpose, goals, objectives, and standards of the Waymart Borough Comprehensive Plan, this chapter, which is the zoning ordinance, and all other ordinances of Waymart Borough. There shall be a community need for the proposed use at the proposed location. Need shall be assessed in light of existing and proposed uses of a similar nature in the area and an objective to provide or maintain a proper mix of uses within Waymart Borough, and more specifically, that portion of the borough in immediate area proposed. I'm not going to read all of this because they've already met all of this criteria in the information they have given us.
Their name of fees or expenses.
There is a fee for a conditional use hearing in Waymart Borough fee schedule, which is $250 for the hearing itself. And I know that of that $250, $200 of that money goes to Wayne County Planning for doing the land development review. But
So you're going to need a stenographer, and that I think it's split between the two parties, us and the applicant. You should probably consider upping that fee to about $1,000.
Huh?
oh, that's what's going for your stenographers get $300-$400.
Not just a stenographer, if you're going to hire an outside attorney too.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, what do we get?
Have to be.
This, if I may just read this section, upon determining an application for a specific use could only be granted as a conditional use under the terms of this chapter, the zoning officer shall forward a copy of said application along with the required supporting data, which everyone received tonight, to the Waymart Borough Planning Agency, which Jane has seen previously. The planning agency shall review the application within 30 days following its next regular meeting and may hold a public hearing to receive comment on the proposed use. The hearing shall be advertised once in a newspaper of general circulation no less than 30 days prior to the hearing. A record of the hearing shall be maintained, but need not be taken in stenographic form. The planning agency shall report its findings together with a recommendation indicating whether the criteria listed above and any applicable performance standards have been met. Upon receipt of the conditional use application and the recommendation of the planning agency, Borough Council shall decide to grant or deny the application, such decision being made solely with respect to the above criteria. If the application is granted, Borough Council shall direct the zoning officer in writing to issue a permit for the same. If the application is denied, the applicant shall be notified within 15 days of the action in person or by certified mail, and the reason for action. So that it's not your zoning hearing board, it's your planning, which you don't have a full.
There's a lot of stuff that needs to be done there. Rich Henry should do it.
Fine with me, but what are we gonna offer him as his salary?
I'm gonna find what I can find about zoning. And I'll do a
So
quick.
what the zoning board has to hire.
That's separate. They have to hire their own.
Right. So that's what it's
They
for.
hire.
But the zoning board's gonna say to us, well, you guys are gonna pay me first.
Yep.
Right? So you gotta have
So
something.
these need to be updated so that you have, he's in there, something about attorney's fees.
Wrote them, you know. He was the vice planning officer. He did ours. I went down there, met with him 6 months, once a month, we sat down and did the section. And
Talk about that.
Right, nothing changes,
And
it
that's
just,
why we
just the
got-
faces change.
That's what we got town shopstone to.
That's why we're doing it.
And I told him today the penalties are the problem right now. And, we did discuss it today. And then he comes up in 2 weeks too, if any of you want to come, when he's here.
So that's all you have.
Well, I think we should be there.
Yeah, your conditional, your actual conditional use application is $60. The land development is $250. So I'm saying corrected on that. When it comes to commercial zoning hearings, your current fee is $350.
So you're going to do all this, right?
Yeah, it's a calculator.
Yeah, Debbie should contact Rich.
Right.
She's all.
Can I do that without zoning hearing board approval?
J&J is not the zoning hearing board, right?
No, that's correct, yeah. No, the
That's probably-
Wayne County Planning Department, or Housing Authority, I'm sorry. Wayne County Housing Authority will be the variance, will be the zoning hearing board.
No,
We
you
have,
can't contact Rich Henry.
Sorry.
Nobody hired Rich Henry for that. But they should convene a meeting really soon, go over things and retake them.
This conversation is so complicated.
It is. That's why Rich specializes in this stuff. Has for a long time. So has Jeff Tree. Those two are everybody. Yeah. For other counties. But other people.
Anthony, I'm one of the.
No, no reason not to, you know, put somebody else.
Yeah. Thank God, I have nothing to do with that.
I'm telling you, get tied up with these things, with the advertising. You know, didn't advertise it, didn't post it, didn't follow the deadlines. I mean, just warning, the clock is ticking as of tonight.
And you need a secretary for the zoning hearing.
Yeah, yes. And if you don't, listen, if we don't do anything, it's approved. All three, but if you sit back and do nothing, all three of these are approved.
Maybe in some ways, maybe we should do that.
If you want to, you might have some angry neighbors.
To like.
Or a poll against you on election day.
One of them is sitting right back there.
He's the only one that's close. Because the land was sold by the guy that owns the building where the doctors are. So why would he keep it, you know?
Zoning information.
Do you object?
Well, you still have to give them the opportunity to object.
Limited information.
There's got to be information.
There's senior board.
Our zoning board with the company that you work with for
NEIC.
And what about them?
do we need to get them on board as soon as possible, or will that affect this situation right here that we're talking about?
Eventually, once the building permit's approved,
So we have
we'll be
to.
tracking everything to make sure it's done right.
And who's going to notify the council each time for these meetings, because the secretary did this before.
The new guy. Which one? There?
You all have everybody's email.
Whoever's going to be your next zoning officer, I will get them up to speed on everything. And all the documents are in.
So you're willing to stay on, thank God.
What you do?
You should have tried to leave your contact numbers and everything so that we have it. That's why I left this.
Oh, it's still on your website.
Old school system.
I know, me too. So I.
Send a letter.
My skills.
Send a letter.
I will
Put it in that one.
come to that conditional use hearing to finalize this one project. So, and are you suggesting it's John Aquifer for that, for the conditional use?
No, we can't even get them for criminal hearing.
Yeah, try to find.
There's a shortage of
Yeah,
everything.
I understand.
That's what I'm thinking, you might want to kick that hourly rate up on the secretary. You probably should get somebody at that rate.
In some ways, I think we're really.
Well, your variance. The conditional use, I mean,
Yeah,
their clock started ticking when they applied for a zoning permit.
yes.
They were told the steps. Paperwork was tonight. I had verbals on everything.
So we're meeting again next week, so if there's anything we can do, we can have a discussion maybe in regards to.
We have to advertise the meeting.
It's in 2 weeks.
And you have to have us put in the advertisement that was for general purpose.
2 weeks, Tom.
And there is no one else on your planning committee, correct?
No, well,
Just
is
you?
anybody else here want to be on the command with me? You know,
Little old me.
little me? I mean, I'm the only planning committee. And we, you know, the planning commission we had for years and they all dumped out. They said they didn't.
Because that who does the initial recommendation and review, which Jane has seen everything.
Yeah.
So your next hearing will be the public hearing that needs to be covered. Opportunity.
So the 25th will be the language of comment.
Yeah, but someone has to place that advertisement.
So we'll start weighing out of town.
What's that?
Weighing out of town.
Now, if you call the lady at the Tri-County paper,
Right,
she'll know exactly how to do that.
okay. Tri-County paper.
I can't think of her
Her name is Peggy Jordan.
Thank you, Jordan. Thank you.
Who's gonna
If
work
they're
on
both
the
in the
water
time,
issues?
too.
Very good call.
Yeah, I'll,
Get into the,
something.
Yeah, they didn't advertise it in time. They advertised it in the paper?
I went back to you.
Really?
They're saying the borough is one that.
Well, then they better change it.
Yeah, but what we did was follow the recommendation of the soil and water
Yeah.
conservation.
Yeah, they approved the plans.
You know, permits.
They're gonna have things.
But all we're doing is we're doing what we were instructed to do. I don't understand what it has to do with the borough.
Bars and bars, picture.
Well, I see it as.
But see, the problem is that I get very worried about setting precedents on private land.
It was a
Come
one-time
back to
only.
haunt the next council, or the next council after that,
No,
if we do something. You know, I get very worried about this private land deal.
It's a perfect example of if you did nothing, you wouldn't be here, Bishop. Because we got involved and did something, perhaps it wasn't done. Now we would be into it. Sometimes you're better off saying, not our problem.
That's why I think we should just throw it back.
well, the people downhill from that
Black,
like
they're the
you.
ones that did it.
would still be bitching, so.
But I'll bet they were smart enough, like we the ones.
The whole
that hired
purpose of
contract.
digging the ditch deeper and putting the one in front of
Will we put it out for bid?
Yes.
Cohalis at the time was because there was so much water coming down. The only thing that was supposed to be different up top was put a pipe in so that the water would come down that ditch. And apparently it's not coming down the ditch.
How long ago that was with the soil and water conservation?
The,
So Shelley can look back and see.
The first time,
you're right.
that was 10 years ago, because we'll be in the house 11 years.
Teresa, when you and Dean came in, my recommendation was don't touch it. It's private property. It's not our issue.
Yeah,
Well, at that time, all they did was the ditch, which would have been in the right of way.
yeah. It just worries me, you know?
And that's when Stark came in to try to tell us that wasn't his right.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're always trying to say these private streets are ours, but they're definitely not ours.
Because he didn't realize you could look up the deed yourself to see whose driveway it was.
The same with Robbins Lane and those other places.
My recommendation every time will be don't get involved. Right. Figure it out.
What is the special meeting for?
The special meeting is for a conditional use hearing for J and J.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Trailer and auto.
I already missed.
Yeah. No, they,
Not that he was,
Okay.
yeah.
But that's going to be advertised. I better advertise it pretty quickly. I think there might be something in there that says it's going to be advertised so many days before.
7 days. 7 days.
So.
Get it in and get it done.
Get it in tomorrow, do the wall.
Get it in and get it done.
So, are you doing that, Donnie?
Yeah, I'll call up, I'll call over Peggy Jordan, it's right now, for the 25th of August at 6:30.
And you also want to advertise, since you're doing a legal advertisement, it's a special meeting of the Borough Council for a conditional use hearing for that. But also that you voted to change the time of your meeting to 6:30. So do your legal notice, do it all at once. Can you do that? Yeah.
Well.
What is Rich Henry gonna do? Who is Rich?
His solicitor.
For who?
They didn't officially apply. That was just a preliminary. Show us
We'll have to hire him separately than what she's doing.
I understand that, but what are they doing about, they're calling Rich Henry? Why? They have
That
nothing
would
to do
be
with
for
it.
his, it's for a separate thing they can
Your
use it
clock is
for.
ticking on the variance. The zoning hearing board says they've officially applied, especially by Cody, they applied for a zoning permit.
Oh, but
2 weeks ago. They came tonight to pitch it to ask for the variance, and then that's gonna be your zoning hearing board, it's 60 days.
All right, but what I want to know is, why is Rich Henry being called?
It's a recommendation.
Independent attorney is hearing officer.
Yeah, Chris recommended him that he's very good at what he does,
Both
or are we not understanding?
meetings can, the zoning can have him and what they're doing can have him. So they're calling him for their part.
So
If
just
we
having
do
him
the
for
zoning
special
hearing
meeting,
board, it's
correct?
us.
Yeah, we can't, borough council can't hire him. Zoning hearing board has to hire their own attorney. They can hire them if they want to, but you guys can't hire him for the zoning hearing.
Correct.
Correct.
But my question is, I'm not calling him for the special meeting for
Yeah,
July 25th.
yeah, that's what that's obviously he's brought in. That's
Okay.
why they can hire him.
But, is it your recommendation for us to not go to the zoning hearing? In the past, I've always not gone specifically. Because if they challenge it, then it comes back to the borough council. So, what do you think?
Mhm.
Better not to be there? Or
I hope it's not something my dog will have a hemorrhage.
It's supposed to get stormed.
Yeah, this one is a lot.
She like to. She loved to. Yeah, she would. Taylor's always been excellent with animals, always.
Yeah, I called her the dog whisperer.
You do not have anything important members of your zoning hearing board.
But to the 10 to 8.
No.
It's almost bedtime.
One vote's no, one vote's yes.
No, that's true.
Bit of hail mixed in with it.
We have no business. Yes, anybody has no business?
There's some places could look at mothball size.
Really? Oh, my God.
We also have to decide about the zoning.
It's the 25th of July.
Monday, no, in
Yeah, July.
Okay.
Yeah, 25th of July.
that's a Monday at 6:30.
Ready.
Monday,
Okay.
25th of July, 6:30. Thank you, Jordan, on a special hearing.
The only other business I can think of is that we need to hire somebody eventually to take over Debbie's job. And she's recommended
NEIC.
NEIC.
Did we set money aside for that? We did, didn't we? Or no, or some money or no? We did. Okay.
Yeah, I'll get it.
Dark it got. Over here. Over there.
570-504.
Clear.
Yeah, we need to.
Well, how are we going to do that? We got to start that process to get.
Secretary Henry. Let him go.
Yeah, we need that zoning. We need to
We need somebody.
And you need a secretary to record the minutes of that.
Well,
No. So here for the 25th, you need a secretary to, it's normally the borough secretary for that. That's not, it's a special borough.
Maybe we could hire just Kathy to do that.
Unless the other girls right. It's up and right. Okay, any other new business?
No, but what if we decided how we're going to,
Well,
how we're proceeding on this on person?
I'd like to go with the firm that Debbie offered, but we really don't have.
Can we do that without having?
They will do a whole proposal for you. I might speak on their behalf.
Yearly.
I thought Shane was taking care of
Get a professional service or something.
No, they never used to have a retainer, because when we came here, we came to pitch before you hired,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Kevin Urian. It was an hourly rate, billed in 15-minute increments.
Jimmy Bridges.
Jimmy Burns?
He's rested.
What about Jimmy? Arrest him?
He's
We
arrested.
didn't have that, but I spent hours now.
He'll never come back. No, no.
I'll get prices from NEIC. I called them once. They didn't back me up.
Call him
And
again.
I'll ship out an email. I don't have Craig's email. Do you have email?
My name, Chris, you
Okay.
At what?
Email.
Do that?
Yeah.
I asked the question.
Moving along.
It has to be advertised.
Run my count.
And what was your answer?
Probably based on what they're gonna build per year, but I think it's also professional services, so. Sure.
It has to be advertised, is that what you?
Yeah.
Only if it's over threshold.
Because it's really not coming out of our, there's no retainer. The borough is not specific.
Right.
We're not paying them.
It's
It's
just someone in trouble.
permit comes in.
Put throw up the ad.
Well,
Taking an ad, might as well get our money's worth.
what do you want to do?
Seeking a
An experienced,
experienced zoning officer.
please. I had two people approach me.
Submit
I
your,
couldn't believe you don't want either one of them because they don't know anything. No,
Never mind zoning.
I know next to nothing myself.
there's no rush on these three things, but you need your zoning involved. That's up to you.
Vote on it on the 25th.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes,
As
yes.
long as they get it.
As long as the ad says that we're going to take up general business, then we can vote on it. But I also would wish to point out, I got to make an agenda. I volunteer to make the agenda as long as I've worked with Don to do it, like I did tonight. Because, you have to post it 24 hours ahead of time.
And it needs to go on
Does
the
that
borough
make it
website.
required to post it on
There's
the
no
borough?
minutes either.
Sure.
No minutes either. They're not up to date at all times.
I thought there was minutes.
Oh,
So you're going to
again.
check on the agency about that.
I think I had them and I didn't bring them.
With them on the tape recording. Can you imagine this on the tape?
If she's just an correct now, who cares?
I know,
Can't
nobody
do
knows
much
what
work.
anybody-
Mm-mm.
Okay, any other business or we're good to go?
Good to go, but there's a lull out there.
There's one out there?
A lull.
Low, not raining right now.
Need a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, aye.
Yeah, wait